Good morning to all of you. Welcome to the session. Let us start the session with the first 10 questions related to the passage. Before we go to questions, you should have an idea of what it is about. The passage is all about state of nutrition report detailing India's level of stunting, malnutrition, and features best practices for states to scale up nutrition interventions. It's all about nutrition and related information. Now let us go to the questions. Question number one. The passage is primarily concerned with which of the following? Decreasing children mortality rate. As I said, it is not about mortality, it is about nutrition. And based on that, impact of that, ways to prevent health issues in our country. It touches a lot of problems related to nutrition. So hold the second one. Methods to improve the conditions of malnutrition in India. This is one of the dimensions, but we should take a holistic approach because the passage talks about different problems related to health. Ways to improve conditions of non communicable diseases, not related to that. Answer is the second option. The passage is primarily concerned with which of the following? Ways to prevent health issues in our country. Different health issues. How to prevent health issues in our country. Answer is the second option. Question number two. As per the passage, while tackling undernutrition, what else needs to be ensured in addition to adequate nutrition? Proper availability of food, that is, food is general. Maintaining proper hygiene, no. Hygiene means cleanliness. The right balance of nutrients. Based on the passage, the right balance of nutrients. Making food affordable. Food is general. Here it is all about nutrients, and this has been mentioned in the passage. Answer is the third option. As per the passage, while tackling undernutrition, what else needs to be ensured in addition to adequate nutrition? Adequate nutrition is one thing. Besides that, the right balance of nutrients is also important. Answer is the third option. Question number three. As per the passage, what challenges must be undertaken together under the universal health coverage umbrella? All these are based on explicit information. They are mentioned in the passage, and you should go. I can show here. Universal health coverage is encapsulated in the idea that no one should have to suffer financial hardship in order to access essential health care. Malnutrition and child mortality not correct. Obesity and overweight not correct. Here, what are the keywords? Universal health coverage. Obesity and undernutrition. Undernutrition and child mortality. Here, further, India should link obesity and undernutrition and treat them as twin challenges to be jointly addressed under the universal health coverage umbrella. Universal health coverage umbrella, two things stand out: obesity and undernutrition. Answer is the third option. Question number four. Which of the following statements can be inferred from the given passage? Give me a second. India has the second highest number of obese children in the world after China, clearly mentioned in the passage, and it's a bit surprising and shocking. India has the second highest number of obese children in the world after China. China number one, India number two. Research shows that Indians have higher levels of body fat and lower levels of lean muscle when compared to many other populations. Even this has been mentioned in the passage. Universal health coverage is enveloped in the idea that no one should have to suffer financial hardship in order to access essential health care. Here, universal health coverage, keywords: is encapsulated in the idea that no one should have to suffer financial hardship in order to access essential health care. Same thing has been mentioned. All are correct. Answer is the fourth option. Question number 5. As per the passage, what are the results of a recent Lancet study on India? That again mentioned in the passage, Lancet study. It's a bit difficult to locate, but I will try. Here, recent Lancet study on India. What does it say? For example, taking the lead from a directive by the Delhi High Court, India should ban the sale of junk food in and around schools. Legislators should also put into practice the results of a recent Lancet study on India. What is that? It showed that higher taxes on junk food can actually lead those on lower incomes to live healthier lives. Now let us go to the question. As per the passage, what are the results of a recent Lancet study on India? Lower taxes on junk food can lead those on higher incomes to live. No. Higher taxes on junk food can lead those on lower incomes to live healthier lives. Clearly mentioned in the passage. Indians have higher levels of body fats and lower levels of lean muscle when compared to other populations. India is above China in number of obese children. No. Here, answer is the second option. Higher taxes on junk food can lead those on lower incomes to live healthier lives. Clearly mentioned. Question number 6. Which of the following can be the most appropriate title for the passage above? Preventing non communicable diseases. It is not about that. It is all about nutrition. Addressing universal health coverage. Not about that. Politics and health. No. Preventing the next health crisis. The passage talks about the diseases, health related problems, and based on that, the present scenario, what should be the future? Preventing the next health crisis. Answer should be the fourth option. Question number 7. Choose a word which is most similar to the word given in passage. And what is the word stunt? Where is the word stunt? India must step up its efforts to fight overweight and obesity, just as it has been doing with wasting and stunting. You may not understand based on the context, but generally, if you know the meaning of the word, then you can find out similar. Stunted growth, the typical collocation, stunted growth, it goes with growth or development. Stunted development. Stunted means restricted. Encourage, no. It has a negative connotation. You cannot take a positive word. Foster, again, positive word, not correct. Suppress, hold that one, negative word. Nurture, take care of someone, provide food, nourish, not all are positive words. Answer is the third option. Stunt means suppress, restrict. And do remember it goes with generally, development, growth, progress. It goes with people. Fragile. Fragile, we have got so many times. What does it mean? Delicate, brittle. Another word, frail. All these are related words, synonyms, similar. Rigid, flexible, opposite, rigid. Not related. Substantial. A little amount, substantial amount. A little progress, Substantial progress. Substantial means considerable. Not correct. Frail. Frail also means fragile, weak, delicate, brittle. Resilient. Resilient means very strong. You face a lot of hardships. In spite of that, you face all those hardships and you emerge victorious. You don't give up. Then we say resilient nature, positive word. This is a negative word. Supple means very soft and easy to bend. Supple. So this is also not right. Similar meaning, fragile. Answer is the third option, frail. Question number 9. Garner. Where is the word garner? Stunting over. It's a bit difficult to locate because they are not all in the same color. I find it so difficult to locate. But generally speaking, garner means to gather, to support. Here, opposite. Amass, same meaning. Gather or same meaning, but they want opposite. Congregate, that is also the same. A lot of people go to a particular place that is called congregation. Surrender, impede. Surrender is not related to garner. Impede means block, impediment, the noun form, not related. Garner, to gather. What is opposite? Disperse. Answer is the fifth option. Disperse means to scatter. Excuse me. Question number 10. Choose a word which is most opposite. And what is the word? Spur. Opposite to spur. Spur means to instigate, to provoke, to incite. They want the opposite. Countenance, goad, dissuade, propel. Propel not relevant here. Countenance not relevant. Goad, the same meaning. Prod, to poke. Answer is dissuade. Dissuade not to do something. Spur, instigate to do something. Dissuade, persuade someone. Not exactly persuade, convince someone not to do something. Answer is the third option. The 10 questions about the passage. Now let us go to questions 11 to 15. I'll read the instructions. In each of the questions given below, a sentence is given which is then divided into 5 parts, out of which last part is given bold and correct. The last part is correct. There is no error in 3 out of 4 remaining parts, and therefore only one of the parts is incorrect. In simple terms, you see 5 parts and the last part is correct. Remaining 4 parts, 3 parts are correct, 1 part is not correct. Your job is to find out that particular part. It is also a tale. Tale means story, fable, myth. It is also a tale that began 100 days before the firing, when housewives, children, and villagers creating a community of protest which found its 1 lakh strong epicenter at Tuticorin. Here, community of protest which found nothing wrong, it's nothing wrong. Where is the error? It is also a tale that began 100 days before the firing, when housewives, children, and villagers, the entire context goes into the past. And here you cannot use the verb in the ing form or present participle. It should be in the past. It is also a tale that began 100 days before the firing, when housewives, children, and villagers created a community of protest. They created a community of protest which found its 1 lakh strong epicenter at Tuticorin. Answer is the fourth part. It is not creating, it is created. Question number 12. It reflects the new conversation between a decade of oral history, the complaints, the everyday gossip of people dying, of children fainting in school. Here, of people dying. Everyday gossip of what? People dying, of children fainting in school. The moment when the eventless history of Environmentalism clashes with the trauma of the internet. Where is the error? It is not faint. It reflects a new conversation between a decade of oral history, the complaints, the everyday gossip of what? People dying. You can use the everyday gossip of people dying, the everyday gossip of children fainting in school. So it is not faint, it should be fainting in school. Answer is C. Question number 13. India rejected, this is an easy one. India rejected an Australian requested. No, here the word request should be a noun. India rejected something. India rejected asks the question what? India rejected an Australian request, not requested. Australian request to join maritime exercises. Requested is not correct. Request is correct. And here request is a noun. India rejected what? An Australian request. Answer is A. Third option. Question number 14. When people are raised, not rise, raise, the word is right. When people are raised and reared in an environment that is often a tyranny, like dictatorship, where power is never evenly distributed, power is only in one person's hands, and one bossy force controls everything, they remain ill equipped to demand anything more in the public and political spheres. Now, it is not easy. You have to take each part. When people are raised, this is a fact, but here it is in passive voice, so sentence should be in present tense. When people are raised and reared in an environment, nothing wrong with this part, and which environment that is often a tyranny, where power is, nothing wrong with this also, never evenly distributed and one bossy force controls, never evenly distributed, nothing, no problem, controls everything. They remain, here people, they remain ill equipped to demand anything more in the public and political spheres. This part as such is correct. So answer is no error. Fifth option. Not easy. Question number 15. The spark for the week long incidents of violence, the spark, the reason, the stimulus, the spark for the week long incidents of violence in downtown Shillong was a lie. What was the spark? Spark for what? The week long incidents of violence where in downtown Shillong was, the entire context goes into the past. Here, spark singular. So, was a lie spread through, that understood. A lie spread through WhatsApp, the ubiquitous, present everywhere, messaging platform that has increasingly become an unfiltered medium for hate and rumor mongering. Not easy. The spark further week long incidents of violence. You should always ask questions. The spark for what? The week long incidents of violence. No error. Where? In downtown Shillong. What was the spark? Was a lie spread through. A lie spread through. Nothing wrong. Through what? WhatsApp and the information about that. The ubiquitous messaging platform. Nothing wrong. That has increasingly become, that has become, present perfect tense, nothing wrong. An unfiltered medium, nothing wrong with that also, for hate and rumor mongering. Answer is every part is correct, no error is the answer. Not easy. Again, difficult to show. Close test. A strike by farmers in Maharashtra continues to affect normal life, despite the state government's announcement of an end to the, not difficult, end to the occult. Occult goes with religion. Occult goes with black. It has a negative connotation, mysterious and not easy to understand, occult sciences, and not relevant here. Indistinct. What is the context? Announcement of an end to the last week, end to the something. Indistinct? No. We need a noun. Indistinct adjective. Please excuse me. Strike seems right. The context is always whether it is a passage or close test. First, you have to read the entire passage, even a close test. It's a passage with blanks, and get an idea what it is about. This is all about farmers' protest, about their problems, and the response. Strike seems the right word. Aggress, not related. Big cock, not related. Answer is the third option, strike. I'll show that. And to the strike last week. Now let us go to the farmers whose demands include full of farm loans. Full of what? Question number 17. Full of loan. Here the key word for you. Full of full of farm loans. What is the collocation or the word that goes with loans? Generally speaking, the word is waive off, waiver. Waiver means not to consider when it comes to a loan, usually, or interest. What are the options here? Hydra. The problem with this close test, there are so many words, we cannot give the meanings of all these words. A regular class, I would have done it, but this one takes a lot of time. It may take about 2 hours. So, contextual awareness, grammar knowledge, you should understand which word is the right word, and other words are absolutely not related, nowhere related to the passage. Hydrant, nozzle, illegible. Hydrant goes with water, hydrant, and nozzle also goes with the tap, the pipe. Illegible goes with writing, legible, illegible. Decisive, indecisive. To save time, I will tell the answer because the word is loans. What is a collocation? What is a combination? Waiver of farm loans. Here include the farmers whose demands include full waiver of farm loans. Answer is the third option. Now let us go to question number blank number 18. As the strike nears the end of its first week, prices of essential goods such as milk, fruits, and vegetables have risen, esoteric, indulgent, stopcock, petcock. And here you should understand, use your grammar knowledge. They have risen. How? You need an adverb. There is only one adverb. Steeply. Answer should be the fifth option. Steeply. Yes, that's right. Let us go to 19. Would waive, the word has been used here. Waive farm loans of small and marginal farmers worth about rupees 30,000 crore. Increase power subsidies. Hike the price for milk, unfasten mild procurement. Here, hike the price for milk procurement. Procure to get. Usually it goes with companies. They procure a lot of stuff. The right word is procurement. All these are irrelevant words. Answer is the third option. Yes. Question number 20 or blank number 20. Other farmer groups, meanwhile, have to their demand. Have what? You need a verb in past participle. Enigmatical. No, that is not enigmatic, enigmatical. Enigmatic, it is adjective form. Stuck, verb, stick, stuck, stuck. Spy got, spout, unfix. Use grammar knowledge and contextual awareness. Answer should be other farmer groups, meanwhile, have stuck to their demand. They didn't want to change, stuck to their demand. Contextually also, it is correct. Blank number 21. It is notable that the protests have come soon after the Uttar Pradesh government moderated, tolerated, affirmation, waived, enigmatic. Obviously, here it should be waived. The fourth option, waived farm loans. It is based on knowledge related to word combinations. 21, it should be the fourth option. Yes. Question number or blank number 22. At the root of the crisis is a steep fall in the prices of agricultural goods. The price slump significantly has come against the backdrop of a good monsoon that led to a bumper crop. The production of tur dal, for example, you should think of the word before you see the options. Abstruse, not relevant, allegation, undedicated, all these are not related. For instance, it should be the second option, 22. Yes. For example, or for instance, increased fivefold from last year to over 20 lakh tons in 2016-17. Ambiguous of price, assertion, application, irrespective of price. The word should be not related, irrespective of price. Now, one more blank is there, 24. Here it is a fourth option, irrespective of price, concealed fluctuations. MSPs are supposed to. These are all, as I said, irrelevant words. Irrespective of what? Price, fluctuations, changes. Answer is the second option. 25. But procurement of crops, again the same word has been used, but procurement of crops at MSP by the government has traditionally been low for most crops except a few, such as rice and wheat. Today, if you take in our country, there is a particular word that goes with agriculture, food. A lot of people have a particular type of food, then it is called staple food. Staple, staple, staple food means the food a lot of people have in a particular region. If you go to the north, they have wheat, chapatis, and all. And if you come to the south, they have a lot of rice. Based on that, it is not cryptic, confusing. Staples here. But procurement of crops at MSP by the government has traditionally been low for most crops, except a few staples such as rice and wheat. These are known as staple foods. Answer is the fourth option. 26. Rearrange the following sentences in the proper sequence to form a meaningful paragraph. Then answer the following questions. This is very difficult. Very, very difficult. If you get this right, that will be a surprise. I will not go to the questions, I will tell you the correct sequence. That is when you cannot consider this as the first sentence. No brand evangelist, you cannot decide. If you have fixed, cannot be the first sentence. Brand evangelists are storytellers. A story is a truth told in a creative way. And you can consider B, you can consider E, you can consider F also. So not easy. Now this is all about, it has been taken from a particular magazine. The article is all about brand HR brand evangelist. Here you should know the meaning of the word brand. Generally it goes with, we use the expression brand image. What is this brand image? If you take a particular product, it may have certain qualities, positive or negative. But what matters, how people perceive that particular product. And perception depends on advertisement. How they advertise, based on that, people perceive, and they have a good image about the product or a bad image. If they have a good image, that is usually they try for a good image, that is called brand image. And if you take the ad agencies, their job is to create very good brands. This is a context, but this talks about brand evangelist exclusive to ad agencies, but HR, brand evangelist related to the company. Subtle difference. So, this is all about HR, human resources brand evangelist. How does it start? As I said, not easy. Here, the first sentence is B. In the digital world, a single tweet can destroy the reputation of a brand that has been built over years. That is true. Next, that is when having a human face allows a brand to be forgiven. That's when having a human face. Here it talks about indirectly HR brand evangelist. That is when having a human face allows a brand to be forgiven. This is the second sentence. The third sentence, it talks about exclusive brand evangelists who belong to ad agencies. No brand evangelist can make up for a poor work culture or poor policies and leadership. That goes with the company. So this is the third sentence. So here BAC, brand evangelists are storytellers. So no brand evangelist can make up for a poor work culture or poor policies and leadership. Brand evangelists are storytellers. This is the fourth sentence. And what is a story? A story is a truth told in a creative way. This is the fifth sentence. And what is the last sentence? If you have fixed all the HR processes and policies and still the employees are lukewarm in their response, go out and get yourself an HR brand evangelist this year. The passage is all about that, getting yourself an HR brand evangelist. So the last one is, this is a very difficult, in fact, not at all easy under pressure. One of the reasons you should know the context. Here there are two things. It's all about the brand, one thing, obviously, but there are two dimensions. One is the ad agency, and the other one is the company. And it talks about brand, brand image, and what is required for a good brand image. The passage talks about HR brand evangelist is required. So, what is the correct order? BACEFD. Not easy. I'll skip all these questions. 31. 31 to 35. Very difficult. I'll read the instructions. In each of the questions given below, a sentence is given which is then divided into five parts, out of which the last part is correct. You don't have to consider the last part. Oh, all are correct. How come? There is an error in three parts of the sentence and only one part is correct. You have to choose the correct part as your answer. Now, it is incongruous that the center have is not correct. It should be has, because center is third person singular. To grasp the need for reform in the regulating is not correct. It should be in what? A regulation of pesticides when it is focused on growth in all agricultural production and exports. It is not all, it should be both. In both agricultural production and exports. It talks about two things, then we cannot say all. Now, how many errors? The last part is correct, you don't have to touch that. It is incongruous that the center has failed. There's an error here. To grasp the need for reform there's no error here. In the regulation, there's an error. Focused on growth in both agricultural production and exports. There's an error here. Now, answer is the second part. To grasp the need for reform there's no error. Answer is the second part. Remaining parts, errors are there. The next one, the derivative instrument allows investors to enter takes a preposition into. Enter in contracts is not correct. Enter into contracts. The derivative instrument allows investors to enter into contracts to either buy or sell gold sometime in the future on a predetermined. In the future, on I don't think it is correct. It should be at a predetermined. At a predetermined price, thus allowing investors for is not correct to hedge any volatility in the price of the metal. These are very difficult, and this goes with one of the new models. The derivative instrument allows investors to enter based on prepositional combinations, enter into contracts. Generally, we say enter does not take any preposition, but based on contracts, it should be enter into contracts to either buy or sell gold sometime in the future on a predetermined price. At a predetermined price, there's an error here, there's an error here. Price, thus allowing investors to hedge any volatility. There's an error here. Volatility in the price of the metal for a price. There's no error in the fourth part. Volatile means what? Not stable. Answer is the fourth option. Again, not easy. The center's decision to infuse 2.11 lakh crore of fresh capital into public sector banks over the next 2 years through a blend of financial mechanisms should help revive the growth momentum. The center's decision to do what? To infuse 2.11 lakh crore of fresh capital into public sector banks over the next 2 years, how through a blend of financial mechanisms should help revive the growth momentum. The sentence is absolutely right. All parts are correct. Answer is the fifth option. 34. The theories of logical atomism. This is very tough. It is not theories, the theory. It should be singular. The theory of logical atomism is a crucial tool in Bertrand Russell, philosophy method. It should be philosophical. Philosophy, there is no problem. Logical atomism contends that through rigorous and exacting analysis, please give me a second. Language, physical matter could be broken down into smaller parts could be broken down into smaller constituent parts. The theories of logical atomism, it is the theories. Okay, fine. It could be the theories. Again, the answer is, I thought theory, but the theories, plural, of logical atomism is a crucial. This is, give me a second. Yes, here it should be because there's a singular verb. The theory of logical atomism is a crucial tool in Russell's philosophical method. Philosophical method, logical atomism contains that through rigorous and exacting analysis, language like physical matter could be broken down. Here, it is not could be, it should be, can be broken down into smaller constituent parts. The theory of logical atomism, there's an error here, theory, because singular verb, and it is not philosophy method. Method, noun, it should be adjective form, philosophical method. Logical atomism content. So there's an error in the first part, second part. Through rigorous and exacting analysis, no error here. Language, like physical matter, can be broken down, not could be broken down, can be broken down into smaller constituent parts. No error in the last part. That means what? The third part is correct. No error here. While Amur tiger occurs exclusively in subtemperate and snow-covered habitats, and is not correct here. While Amur tiger occurs exclusively in subtemperate, snow-covered habitats, the Bengal tiger occupies diverse tropical habitats. Range is not correct. Ranged, it should be ranging from Himalayan foothills to central Indian plateau and the Western Ghats. Snow-covered habitats the Bengal tiger occupies. Foothills from Himalayan foothills to central Indian plateau. I don't see any error here. A bit difficult to make out. Varying from Himalayan foothills and central Indian plateau and the Western Ghats. It should be not the word ranging, varying from. I'll read the sentence. While Amur tiger occurs exclusively in subtemperate and should not be there, snow-covered habitats, the Bengal tiger occupies diverse tropical habitats varying from Himalayan foothills and not to central Indian plateau and the Western Ghats. So which part doesn't have an error? The second part. There's an error here. There's an error. There's an error. Answer is the second part. No error. Not easy. Let us go to questions 36 to 45, I suppose. Fill in the blanks with suitable words. As news of petroleum fuel retail prices hitting new highs, every passing day hits the consumer. Expectations build up, cushion the impact by paring the tax component in the final retail price. Expectation builds up that the government will, that the system would, that the government would, not the system, which is not correct. You have to decide between one and the Third option, first option and the third option. As news of petroleum fuel retail prices hitting new highs every passing day hits the consumer, expectation builds up that the government will cushion. Expectation, then we don't say will, it is would, that the government would cushion the impact. So answer is the third option. Would cushion, that the government would cushion the impact. Question number 37. A bit difficult to make out. Context is not very clear. The community has made huge strides socially and politically, and to this onward leap. Here, many of these questions, grammar knowledge helps. The violence does disservice. Here, the sentence is in present tense. The violence does what? Disservice. On to this onward leap. This seems grammatically correct. Of the violence do, it is not correct. For a violence had, this is also not correct. To the violence has disservice. The community has made huge strides socially and politically, and the violence does disservice to this onward leap. To the violence is not correct. For a violence had disservice to this. This is also not correct. Answer is the first option. Grammatically speaking, context is not clear. Virtually, section of civil society are standing. What is the verb here? Are standing. Verb here, are standing, that means here you need two nouns or plural noun in their objections. The entire political classes and an influential. The entire political classes, we don't say entire political class. So class is not correct. The, it should be there, it is missing, not correct. The entire political class or, not or, it should be and because of the plural verb. The entire political class and an influential section of civil society are standing. The entire political class, a standard phrase, and an influential section of civil society. Answer is the fourth option. Again, based on grammar knowledge. The peaceful protest by Maharashtra farmers last month made quite an impression because focus by Maharashtra farmers already mentioned. So we need the definite article. The marcher should be plural, farmers. To the marchers, no. Marchers, no definite article. The marchers kept unswerving focus on the message of farm distress and failure to implement Forest Rights Act. Again, based on grammar knowledge, you can decide. Answer is the fourth option. The Customs Administration uses risk-based procedures to identify reliable operators and low-risk consignments or transactions which may benefit from trading. From trading is not correct. That may be benefits, grammatically not correct. That may benefited, not correct, because there's a helping verb here. We need to use after the helping verb the basic form without to or bare infinitive. That may benefit from trade facilitation. It is not from trading facilitation, from trade facilitation. Answer should be the fourth option. From trade facilitation. Yes, that's right. 41. Nevertheless, the collective assertion by disparate Dalit groups across North India raises the possibility that judgment was only a pretext for violence amid widespread paucity. Paucity means shortage of the job. It should be plural. For is not correct. Paucity takes the preposition of jobs and the sharp social divides. Here, sharp, you may get tempted to choose this one, but answer is sharpening social divides. Nevertheless, the collective assertion by disparate Dalit groups across North India raises the possibility that The judgment was only a pretext for violence amid widespread paucity of jobs and sharpening social divides. Ongoing. Verb is in present continuous tense. Answer is the fourth option. At the same time, the victim's complaint followed by police lodging an FIR is a starting point for justice and taking that is power away, grammatically not correct. This power away from local seems right. Which of the power grammatically not correct? That is power is not correct. Here, at the same time, the victim's complaint followed by police lodging an FIR is a starting point for justice and taking this power away from local police can have unforeseen consequences. Taking what? Taking this power away from local police. Answer is the second option. With politicians, judges, and activists veering between extremes, finding a middle path has become difficult. The Buddha had originally championed. Even if that is what the Buddha, this seems right. In fact, if that is what, in fact, you don't have to use here. Even if that is which is not correct. If which is the what, grammatically not at all correct. Answer is the first option. With politicians, judges, and activists veering between extremes, finding a middle path has become difficult, even if that is what the Buddha had originally championed. Answer is the first option. Again, grammar knowledge. Moreover, without finding economic solutions, armies of unemployed youth are likely to the lead to lead to more violence. To the lead. To the lead is not grammatically correct. To leading is not grammatically correct. Moreover, without finding economic solutions, armies of unemployed youth are likely to lead to more violence for causes imagined or real. To lead to more violence. This is grammatically correct. All these questions are based on grammar knowledge. The initial launch of the e-way bill generated on the portal of the Goods and Services Tax Network (GSTN), the nodal body to which all producers and suppliers of goods and services file their tax returns, had to be aborted. Abort means to give up, to leave. It goes with missions, mainly due to underestimation of traffics. Traffics is not correct. Underestimation of traffic in server. In is not correct. Underestimation of traffic on the server. On the server. Underestimation or underestimate, not correct. It should be underestimation. Mainly due to what? You need a noun, not a verb. Underestimation is a right word, but your traffic is not correct. In server, not correct. Underestimation of traffic on the server, that is right. And underestimate is not correct. Here you see three blanks and you have to select the right option which has all the right words. As Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has pointed out, biometrics captured under the Aadhaar enrollment process will ensure that no individual can hold more than one PAN card to evade tax dues. Straight away, I saw this and I'm telling this should be the answer. We'll check other options. As Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has pointed out, biometrics bring through under, not correct. We need a verb captured under. Verb should be in past. Rescued, not relevant. Not in the past. Not in the past. Again, contextual awareness, grammar knowledge. As Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has pointed out, biometrics captured under the Aadhaar enrollment process will do what? Will ensure what again? No individual can hold more than one PAN card to avoid tax dues. Answer is the second option. In an age where data are stored in electronic form, it is impossible to vast amounts of information. It is impossible to frontage lineaments disproportion, overbalance, collate information based on that data. The right word, it is collate. In an age where data are stored, please remember datum singular, data plural, but used data is also used as a collective noun. If it is used as a collective noun, it takes a singular verb. The data is authentic, nothing wrong with that. Don't think data always takes a plural verb. It is not like that. In an age where data are stored in electronic form, it is possible, not impossible, it is possible to collate vast amounts of information from various databases, ranging from applications for passports, driving licenses, ration cards, and more. Answer is the fifth option. Excuse me. The promise of nuclear power has thus far, grimace, frontal, outweighed, has, you need a verb, sentence is in present perfect. And this verb should be in past participle. How many options are there? Only one option. Within no time, you can decide the answer. The promise of nuclear power has, don't consider thus far, has so far outweighed, that is in present perfect, verb in past participle form. Outweighed all of those concerns, and India has reason to be proud of its technology and determination to look for non fossil alternatives in its energy planning. Absolutely right. Answer is the third option, but here, 1 second, if you catch this and you know it is in present perfect, there should be a verb in past participle form. Within no time, you will get, you don't have to waste your time checking other options. There's only one option with the verb in past participle form, that is the answer. 49. However, with rapid progress in technology in other energy resources such as wind and solar power, and based on wind and solar power, you can decide. Today, we talk about energy resources. We use four terms: conventional, non conventional, non renewable, renewable, conventional energy sources, non renewable, and they are traditional. Non conventional energy sources are renewable. And under non conventional renewable sources, we have wind and solar power. Based on that, here, renewable, exhaustible not correct, obligation not relevant, front piece not relevant, grower not relevant. You can decide, but cross check other words. However, with rapid progress in technology and in other renewable energy sources such as wind and solar power, the collapse of oil prices and the expansion in gas projects as a viable and clean alternative, that promise has dimmed. Perfect. Answer is, once you know wind and solar power, renewable energy sources, there's only one word, no synonyms. You can save your time, decide. Answer is the first option. About the security of EVMs have been raised a decade in courts, and the EC has, the last one, has demonstrated. The verb is here, but how? You need an adverb repeatedly. Instruct, not an adverb, not an adverb, not. How come only two words? Not an adverb. Based on this grammar knowledge, has repeatedly demonstrated. Let us check. Complaints about the security of EVMs have been raised over a decade in courts, and the EC has repeatedly demonstrated how the security of the machines cannot be compromised. Now let us check other options. Answer is the second option beyond any doubt. Has instructed demonstrated. Go with the third one, because when you read, you should know where to focus. Here the focus is on the third blank, has demonstrated. How? Definitely you need, or frequency, whatever, you need an adverb. Then the last word should be an adverb. Instruct, not an adverb, and persevere, not an adverb. Only two words are there, so ruled out. Endeavor, not an adverb. Instruct, verb. And persevere, again verb. Endeavor, noun. Answer is what? Grammar knowledge helps. You can save a lot of time. That is the last question. Not a tough paper, a good paper. So many words and so many questions based on grammar knowledge and based on vocabulary. That's all for today. Thank you very much.